Good morning, everyone. My name is Bianca Morgan, and this is my living history speech for Jason Quinn's public speaking class online. Today I'll be speaking about my father, Richard Morgan, and how he experienced and participated in some big events in history. To tell you a little bit about my father before I get started, he was born October 2nd, 1937, so that makes him 73 years old. So you can imagine he has lived through a lot. But he never really care too much for what was going on in the world because he was very rebellious as he was growing up against my grandfather, Judge Roy Morgan. Judge Roy Morgan was a federal judge, an FBI agent. He prosecuted Japanese war criminals, and he did many other things. Since my grandfather was a very powerful man, and my dad did not care too much for him, he figured could just get by with whatever he wanted to do because he was a judge and he could get him out of jail or whatever. Most of the time, my grandfather would just give him money to go across the country to just stay away from him. First off, my father did get to attend the inauguration address and inauguration ball in Washington, D.C. on January 20th, 1961. He attended this because his father, Judge Roy Morgan, and Governor of North Carolina, Luther Hodges, were the directors of Kennedy's campaign in the South. My father was only 24 at the time, and he said that he did not remember too much because he had consumed too much alcohol at the party. So I can only give you a little bit about what I found out about what he told me. He said there was a lot of good food at the ball, and that he got to take a picture with President Kennedy. Kennedy was the first Roman Catholic to ever be in office, and this was a big controversial issue at the time. He was the youngest president ever elected in the United States. He had many great economic programs to help the country get back on its feet after the war. Kennedy also made a move toward the civil rights movement. During Kennedy's inauguration speech, he really wanted to do for young people and challenged everyone to the famous quote, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country." My father liked this saying so much that he thought about joining the army, but then he backed out because he decided he would rather go back to Japan with my grandfather so my grandfather could tie up some loose ends where he prosecuted people in the Japanese War. Also, my father was in Japan at the time the war crime trials were going on, and this is where he finished high school. I don't remember the name of the high school, but he really liked Japan and liked going to school there. He said that his dad was chief interrogator for the International Military Tribunal of the Far East. So he tried war criminals that were classified as a Class A, which was crimes against the peace, and they were tried by the International Military Tribunal for the Far East, and another name for this trials was Tokyo Trials. To conclude, I would like to say even though my father did not pay attention to what was going on in the world, he has lived through a lot and really got to experience firsthand on many cool things with my grandfather was working on it, mainly because he wanted to attend parties, but he got to experience things that not many people got to experience firsthand. One cool thing that I did not mention was that my grandfather was at the shooting of Bonnie and Clyde, and at my house somewhere stored we have photos of the shooting, and there's other photos and pictures of the war criminals in Japan. Thank you for listening to my speech, and I hope you guys have a nice day.